ton of tornado warnings. That's basically what Sally was. Just rain and tornado warnings. Rain and tornado warnings, and then more rain. You know, when I saw the models come out for Sally and saw that we were projecting 16 inches of rain in Panama City, I was like, uh-oh. and then the storm happened, and we got 15.8 here at the station. We had many locations picking up 30 inches of rain in some locations. That was the max right near Pensacola. So, yeah, that was not fun.
I think Pensacola was picking up at least 10 over the last couple.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, like from leftovers from Nicholas here. Yeah, I did see that. Somebody had a gauge that recorded like 10.5 inches in 12 hours, which is that's some impressive rain. We haven't had that here, but we have had. I think we're over 3 inches now, right, for the storm total. When we were at 2.4 last night when I left. So, yeah, over 3 inches already for
Probably
this.
Another 2 to 4 by the next few days.
Yeah, I'm not,
At least in some places.
Right. Yeah, we had some scattered activity out there today, but I think for the most part things gonna get a little more spotty over the next couple of days. Yeah. So still some heavy rain chance. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So let's jump right into it. This week we're going to be talking about what's going on out there currently, and thankfully a relatively quiet outlook for the Gulf of Mexico, which is good news for us here. But there are some things to watch, especially as we head toward the end of September, going into October, because going into the end of September and October, that seems to be the time of year that tropics just hate us. Yeah. So we'll be watching that. But yeah, I'd like to start off with my rant this time. I think I did that last week too. You were
in the beginning.
Yeah, you were on sabbatical, but yeah, I started my rant last time. I'm going to start my rant this time too, which currently we have 76 people watching. Thank you to all the 76 people that are watching. I bet by the end of my rant,
and then they're gonna leave.
There will be 5.
Back to the 10. Back to the 10.
I think the people are going to be like, yeah, okay, we're done. So I saw several hype pages about a week and a half ago saying that there was going to be a Category 5. What ended up being Nicholas. So they weren't wrong about a storm coming in. But they were saying it was going to be a Category 5 impacting Texas and Louisiana. They did that 240 hours out.
That's what happens.
I mean, come on. And then not only were they wrong about the date of the storm, they were very wrong about the storm itself, because Nicholas did come up to a minimal Category 1 before making landfall south of Houston.
Right.
But nowhere near the impact of a Category 5.
Absolutely not.
So, again, going back to, if you follow hype pages, expect to get wrong information. Just
expect to get the hype.
Yeah, expect to get the hype. I mean, not just one page. I saw 2 pages posting that, and it's the same offenders. Two individuals that are clearly out to get clicks. It's just like, come on. Like, it's just nonsense. But anyways, hey, we actually gained some viewers, so thanks for sticking with me through my rant.
That was a short rant. I was expecting something way longer.
No. It's the typical things that annoy me. We're starting out with our cams here, and not too bad out there right now. We do have cloud cover and some shower activity. Surf is up, it looks like, on the runaway cam there.
Yeah, we have red flags flying most places, so...
There you go.
Surf is up, so always be aware of what those flags are if you are headed out to the beach. I mean, maybe today is not your day for that. Maybe tomorrow won't be your day for that either, but heading into next week, the showers are going to break up quite a bit, so we'll be back to our kind of,
I'm hoping
how we
break
regular summertime pattern.
Yeah, I'm hoping we break this southwest flow, because as long as we have the southwest flow out there, we're going to continue to see not only moisture, but unfortunately, we're going to see our waves being kicked up by that long fetch across the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty easy to see there. You see the showers coming from
the south.
Yeah, I mean, basically from Mexico and streaming all the way into our area. This is why, I think somebody asked me, when is it going to stop raining in Jackson County yesterday? And I was like, off and on showers and storms today, off and on showers and storms tomorrow, off and on showers and storms tomorrow night, off and on showers and storms Friday. I mean, like this is the same setup we had yesterday is exactly the same setup we have today, and it's the same setup we'll have tomorrow. You can see that remnant spin hanging out in southern Louisiana there. That is the remaining remnants of what was Nicholas at one point in time. No longer classified as tropical, because it is now so strung out that it is
barely hanging
post-tropical.
on.
So, yeah, it's just at this point in time, it's just a piece of energy. Like, it's not, there's no low pressure there anymore. There's, as you may have noted with the heavy rain that has come through, has anyone seen any wind from any of the showers that have come through? Because I haven't.
No.
You know, nothing's mixing down to the surface. It's just rain, and a good bit out of it. We did have an impressive water spout offshore today.
Oh, I didn't see a picture of that.
Did you see a picture? I think Sandman posted it on Twitter.
He posted about some red tide issue, but
what, is there some red tide going on out there?
I mean, we'll have to see. They only update it every week or so.
Yeah, they do it once a week. They measure the K. brevis population in the water. So if he's seeing some red tide, that's no bueno.
Yeah.
I don't like red tide. Red tide stinks. So hopefully that doesn't turn into much of an issue.
But their last update was
last Thursday?
8 days ago. So.
Oh no, yeah, this should be out.
It'll be out probably in the next few.
Yeah, I mean the only good news is if we did have a red tide bloom, we would be expecting cooler temperatures in the next couple of weeks, probably 3-4 weeks from now, and once the water drops below about 78, that tide's gone. So it wouldn't last terribly long. So that would be the good news there. Of course, nobody ever wants to deal with red tide. It's just it's no fun. So looking at our overall picture here, continue with the showers and storms. It's gonna stick around. We've got several more days to deal with this, and even after that remnant low completely stops spinning, we're still gonna have that southwest fetch.
Yeah.
And we had a cold front that is eventually going to come in. We actually have a pair of them. Unfortunately, not make it to us, but they will help to export some of the moisture out. So that is good news. Looking at the tropics, there is a wave. It's kind of a race between which one will get named first. Neither one of them particularly impressive at this point.
No. That 70% chance is likely will be a fish storm, if not give some swell to mid-Atlantic, northeastern areas, but not looking like something that's going to have an impact for land. But that 80% over there towards the west, off of the West African coast, that's, you know, we don't really know yet.
Yeah, so. that one's a little more interesting than the one that's on the coast. I think the one on the coast may, in fact, end up being subtropical as opposed to fully tropical. The differences between subtropical and tropical are pretty minor. Subtropical meaning that it's getting some kind of baroclinic influence, so it's not fully warm core and asymmetrical. It's more or less kind of lopsided, and it's getting some jet help helping to intensify low pressure system. So subtropical can have fronts as opposed to a fully tropical system, which is not going to have any fronts because it's completely warm core down to the surface. So I'm sure that any weather nerd out there completely understood that, and everybody else was like, what? So it doesn't matter, but we may get a name out of both of these. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But yeah, you're right. The one on the Atlantic coast, I don't think might brush with the Outer Banks, maybe. You know, and that would be like tomorrow. So seeing how it looks now, I'm kind of doubting that we get enough development out of it that there's anything there. So that's probably gone. The other one is. It's a little bit more interesting. The models have been back and forth. We've seen, you know, from a major hurricane hitting Maine to a major hurricane going over Bermuda to the latest runs, which show nothing. Like nothing, absolutely nothing. Zero storm. So you know, it's kind of one of those things. There's a couple of things going on out there that is causing the models to have some real challenges as to what the setup is, and one of them is that spin you see right to the north and east of that 70%. That is what we call the tut. So we have a couple of tuts out there, and tuts are tropical upper tropospheric troughs.
Say that 5 times fast.
No. So basically the tut is actually extending all the way down. See that nice bright orange dry streak? That is the positive vorticity streamer that's coming off of that tut. So that is in the way of our 80% chance of development out there coming off of Africa. So there's not only that, but we've actually got kind of a sneaky tut hanging out on the eastern coast as well. That's just to the south of that low, and that trough will also impact this system if it continues that far west. And you can see the cloud cover streaming off of Florida. That is the result of that tut. That tut actually may help to induce an upper low to work across Gulf of Mexico going through next week. And if that happens, that would actually help clear us out for moisture. So kind of crossing the fingers that we get out with that, but we'll have to see how that plays out. So there's a couple of things out there. None of them, particularly interesting at this point, because one is just too far out and too unknown, and the other one probably not that impactful. The good news, again, if you're just joining us, all the tropical activity has cooled our water off quite nicely. We're sitting at about 82, 83 right off the coast. Our bay water's about 81 to 83. So for all of those out there, 80 degrees is all you need. That 80 degrees will support tropical activity. Obviously, every degree warmer that you're talking about over 80 degrees is going to be that much more energy for the storm to tap into. But 80 degrees, as long as it's at 80, it will support tropical activity. When you get down to 79 and 78, yeah, you can support tropical activity, but strengthening a tropical system in 78 and 79, it doesn't happen very often. It can be supported, but really it's pretty hard. I mean, we saw Ida. You can still see the streak from what Ida left. That's right there through the central Gulf of Mexico. It's that that lighter orange that streaks just to the south of that 84 we have pegged to the south of Louisiana. That is the remnant wake from Ida. The remnant wake from Fred still evident as well. Yeah. So the Gulf of Mexico running below average for this time of year. As much as most of the tropics are, the exception being the area that's been...
who hasn't really seen much. Well, they just saw, their first kind of real system with Nicholas is over towards Houston, that coast of Texas, which, during this time of year, it's definitely pretty normal for them to see something, but really Nicholas has been their kind of only real major event so far this year. And treading over eastward towards New Orleans and Panama City, that's what we were just talking about. We were counting on our fingers how many of the named storms we've seen impacts from here at home, and it's been a little less than half, which is...
Yeah, I count 5. I think I got the list coming up next. I believe I think that's the next title.
I'm counting 6, but...
But yeah, not only does Texas still have some relatively warm waters, there's warm waters on the Atlantic coast where the Gulf Stream is, and still kind of above average if you get north of the Greater Antilles. That water is also running above average because there hasn't been any storms there. I mean, we think back to 2017, 2019 when you had Irma and Maria and then Dorian. They all tracked through that water. There hasn't been a single storm there this year. So they certainly deserved a break, and we deserve a break. Yeah. Like 100% we deserve a break. Okay, let's look. All right, Nicholas, Mindy. You're counting Ida. I don't really count Ida because I don't think we really had. When we didn't have much in the way of impact. Yeah, I mean, there were some bands.
Not much.
Yeah, we had some bands. A really low chance of a tornado with Ida, but it was
our
just
tornado
too far
watch
away.
Was towards our western counties.
Yeah, I think.
So I guess we don't really count.
Didn't Santa Rosa County get into that?
Santa Rosa, Escambia.
Did Okaloosa get into it?
And Okaloosa, yes.
Oh, okay.
Just not one.
All right. All right, I'll give it to you.
We'll count it.
We'll count it. All right. Nicholas, Mindy, Ida, Fred, Elsa, Claudette. So that's 6, right?
Yeah, and there's 14 up there.
Yeah, so almost half.
Almost half.
Almost half of the tropical systems have impacted us in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Which is why we've had now over 70 inches of rain for the year, because we've had 6 tropical systems impact us or leave us rain. I mean, Claudette didn't really do a whole lot, but had us, under a tornado threat for a long time and brought us leftover moisture. Even Danny, honestly, you could count Danny because Danny came into Georgia and then left, that trough sitting in place behind it, and it just had extra tropical moisture. So, I mean, really, you could count that one too. Elsa might have been the only one that helped us out.
Yeah, Elsa kind of gave us a breezier, but even with that
pulled in some dry air and helped us out a little bit. So Elsa might cancel out our counting Ida. Well, we'll say we'll cancel it out. Then Fred, obviously, probably the most impactful to our area with just a lot of rain, lots and lots of rain. I mean, 10 inches of rain is never good in any anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's just never good anywhere. Mindy, obviously, well, that was just a wet day, a really wet day.
Hey, just a wet evening, really.
Yeah. It did get kind of breezy, I'm sure, in Franklin and Wakulla counties, and back over into even probably Jefferson and Leon. Probably had some issues with some wind there, but minor overall. And then we're still dealing with Nick. Yeah, remnant with Nick. So hopefully that Odette, Peter, Rose, and Sam are. Hopefully we don't get them.
I mean, we only have 7 names left. So.
Yeah, you think we're gonna get to the alternate?
I don't know. I think we might get.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say maybe 1 or 2 on the alternate.
I think we'll see. I think we're gonna see 4 more storms and be done. So I don't think we get to the alternate. I think we get 4 more storms. Of course, you know, we name a lot of things nowadays.
Not if we name.
I mean, we name a lot of things
That's
nowadays.
Another rant.
So that's a completely different rant. I mean, Danny, I don't really think should have counted as a storm. Anna was subtropical, so if you go back to before 2009, that's not counted.
Claudette was named.
Claudette was named over land,
landfall.
which is they've only done it about 6 storms.
Yeah.
You know, yes, technically, did it meet criteria? Sure.
Sure.
It was a closed low. It was over 40-mile-per-hour winds, but you know, is it tropical?
Mindy was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, Mindy. I mean, surprise. You know, we knew that there was an area to watch, and we knew that there was a chance of a low-level spin kind of developing down there. But I was hopeful, mainly for the messaging reasons, that they wouldn't name Mindy, not because it didn't meet criteria, just because. I mean, like. For those that have been here since 2018, do you remember Alberto? Many of you are probably going, no, because Michael erased Alberto's memory from your brains, but we started off that year with Alberto in 2018. It made landfall in Panama City Beach. It was not a tropical storm. Had barely had 30-mile-per-hour winds with it, but they named it because it met criteria. And you know, people took that and they're like, oh well, you know, this is just another one of those hype situations with naming a storm that's not a storm, right? And I think that plays into the impact of when there is a real storm. People don't take it seriously because we have storms like Mindy and Danny and Alberto
that barely
that
do anything and pass in a few hours. So.
Exactly. So
it's understandable, but you're right. That's,
you know, does it meet criteria? Sure.
Yeah.
Is it something that we should be naming based off of impacts? Probably not. You know, I mean, that's just. I don't know. That's just me. I mean, that's kind of one of those things. But going into what we're looking at down the road, this is the GFS, and I have many people like the Windy app or like looking at the Windy thing on the computer.
I like it.
You look at it, right? Yeah. Which is they use. Well, it uses this model. It's the GFS. So I've overextended our grid points so that you can see all of the wind that's out there. And the yellow lines are the pressure. So you can see that the GFS is far more bullish on the system on the Atlantic coast than what is actually going on right now. I mean, there's no system there, and the GFS is like, hey, look, there's a system. So, you know, that's kind of where modeling sometimes is. You know, all models are bad. Some are useful. I mean, being honest.
The combination of them helps, is what helps.
You know, I mean, we've seen this with COVID, too. I mean, like, all models are bad. Like, all of them. They're all bad. But some can be useful. I mean, it's the information that you get off of them that creates the usefulness from those models. So people ask, oh, what is the Euro saying? What is the GFS saying? What's the NAM saying? What? It doesn't matter. They're all bad.
Yeah.
Like, but we're getting some information that can be useful for this. And so here's the GFS, and we're watching that tropical, maybe subtropical development there, brush the Outer Banks, possibly the Cape, before turning into a relatively robust low. It's not going to be tropical at this point because it'll have a cold front attached to it. And then we've got some pretty significant troughing across the eastern U.S. Unfortunately for us, that troughing is
not reaching really too far down.
Yeah, I mean, it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, but it's you don't see a northerly wind behind that trough. You have a southerly wind, so this is just bringing us more moisture. So we're not going to clear out through next Monday because we still have lift over our area, even though, you know, the remnants of Nicholas are gone and there's really no front there. It's just general lee side troughing. Cool. Great. More rain. And then there's our other interesting little piece there approaching the Greater Antilles. GFS showing a closed low at this point, but it's still elongated. You notice that it's stretched. The center is stretched all the way down into the Lesser Antilles. Not really the greatest shape, and at this point in time, it would be dealing with that tut.
Yeah.
So a lot of shear involved into it as well, and then it, runs into some land interaction, starts to get pulled apart. The tut's ripping it. Whatever's left over from our tropical system off to the north or subtropical system grabs it and takes it up toward Bermuda. So this must be the 12Z run because I actually hadn't seen this run. So there you go. It's a fish storm.
Fish storm.
If it plays out like that. Now the 6Z run there was no storm. Like it just dissipated.
Yeah.
It's just gone. This is, if that were to play out, would kind of stink for Bermuda, but would be good for us because you notice that it does help to enhance some cold fronts on the backside, and we don't see any lingering cold fronts across the Gulf of Mexico. And this time of year, that's really where the attention turns to. It turns to CAG, whether we get, our Central American gyre to develop, or if we can get a cold front to hang out in the Gulf of Mexico long enough, because those are those areas where we can create spin.
Yeah.
We can get a system to develop. And we had Nestor in 2019 that did that. We've had many, many, many examples of, just a front just hanging out in the Gulf of Mexico, and then boom, you've got a tropical storm. So that's what we'll be watching as we go forward. But the modeling going through next Saturday says nothing in the Gulf of Mexico.
Nope.
Nothing in the Gulf of Mexico. Nothing in the Caribbean. In fact, a whole lot of shear down there if this plays out. So that would be some excellent news. And then let's go to the Euro, because again, all models are bad, some are useful. And the next model is the Euro whenever we can clear out the GFS here. Big high pressure system. And the GFS has been doing this a lot lately. I don't know what that is. What is that spin that it's developing? Like some little weird piece of vorticity that it just keeps throwing up there off of the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's not tropical in origin. It's obviously some leftover energy coming off of the Northeast, and then that high pressure throws it back toward the U.S. It seems like every single run of the GFS I've seen that
has
do
kind
this.
of kink like that. Yeah. I've noticed.
None of them
are
verified.
No.
They just keep doing this at the end of the thing. So I don't know that maybe there's some kind of model bias there. I don't know. It's certainly interesting, but not really relevant. So going to the Euro, similar setup. Again, too bullish on the system that is in the Atlantic right now, but does take the similar type of situation there off of the East Coast. So it does remain a fish storm, then turns it into, post-tropical, grabbing a front by this point in time. But
and then there's that 80% that we saw, obviously much more south in the GFS run, but kind of to the north of, what is that, Jamaica? Not Jamaica.
What are you looking at?
That.
Puerto Rico?
Yes, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Jamaica is south of Cuba. No, it's Puerto Rico. Learn your islands. Come on, let's go through your islands.
I blanked there. I'm sorry.
So you notice I say the Greater Antilles and the Lesser Antilles because I don't know any of the Lesser Antilles. I know that Barbados is down there somewhere and some of the other ones, but I'm like, it's just an island chain. It's the Lesser Antilles, right?
All right. Well, north of the
Greater Antilles. There you go.
Yes.
Boom, done. That's all you need. That's all you needed to know. The Euro's showing a pretty stretched out low at that point. Yeah, I mean they're very similar outcomes. Just one is showing a storm, the other one is not. The difference is here the Euro has a much stronger, whatever that is, being blocked to the south of Greenland. So that would help out the tut, that would help out the shear, that would stretch that low even more. And then you see a big high pressure system centered directly over the top of us in the northern Gulf of Mexico. So this would be, that upper level low and tut kind of working in concert across the Gulf of Mexico, which would help dry us out. So I certainly would be okay with that.
Yeah, I think everybody would.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would be that upset about it. And, of course, obviously we'd still be pulling in moisture because the wind would be out of the south. But it would be drier. That's the key word there, drier. That's all we can hope for at this point in time. Then, the Euro does take whatever left over from that vorticity up toward Bermuda like the GFS, and they both stay fish storms. The biggest difference here is that the Euro by next Saturday does start to show at least the potential for a cold front to come into the eastern U.S., which might clear us out. So, again, drier. The great news, again, GFS and Euro, both models are bad, but neither one of them have anything in the Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico all the way through next Saturday. So if you're going to take anything away from this, it's that.
We likely will not see anything.
Unless we get a cold front to hang out in the Gulf of Mexico, which doesn't look likely because we don't have any cold fronts coming.
Yeah.
We're probably not talking about any tropical entities in the Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico over the next 12 to 14 days, which would take us to the end of September and into the beginning of October, which then, again, our attention turns to cold fronts and gyre. You know, we've had too many run-ins with the gyres in the past, and y'all are all well aware of that, so I don't have to continue to talk about that. But, yeah, that's the Euro, that's the GFS. I think my next one is the season. Yeah. So just to say we are in peak season still. Our climatological peak instability. A lot of big words there.
Whoa.
I know, right? That actually happens October 20th. You can see that with the secondary peak.
Yeah.
So even though we get past peak hurricane season as far as activity and number of storms, the greatest amount of instability that we typically see over the Atlantic happens October 20th, and the reason for that being cold fronts. You get cold fronts to start coming down, and that helps to create instability, because instability is literally temperature differences. I mean, you know, if it's 30 degrees at the surface and it's minus 25 above your head, you have instability.
Right.
That's how we get thunderstorms.
Yeah.
That's how we get snow, thunderstorms, or thunder snow, is when you have that kind of instability. When the difference is between surface and aloft. So you start pulling down some cooler air from the Arctic, and it works across the warm waters of the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, and you get greater instability. So that's why you see that secondary peak. But we are, you know, starting to fall off the cliff as far as the numbers go on activity-wise. So that's, you know, from this point forward, really, if we get through, you know, the middle of October, then you can start to breathe a little bit easier.
Yeah.
You know, I know the chest is heavy right now, and no, that's not COVID. It's just the anxiety of hurricane season. Haha, I know I'm joking. I'm sorry. Shouldn't joke about that. But, sorry. I made myself laugh. I'm sorry. Yeah, anyways, breathe easier once we get into the middle and end of October. Until then, you still got to pay attention to it. You still got to watch. We'll probably do our last tropic topic somewhere around the end of October.
Yeah, beginning of November.
Depends
Depends what's out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if we've got
anything.
activity to talk about, we'll continue to go. But, you know, we're going to do this. We'll be here every week, Thursday at 1. You know, one of the 9 combinations that are possible between the three of us will be here talking to you about what's going on. And if you don't catch it, you can always catch it on mypanhandle.com. You can go to the Tropic Topics page. Our lovely Grace Thornton does little synopsis for us and writes up things on there. So maybe she gives you a little insight.
I try to.
A little insight that we didn't discuss. Maybe she's adding a little tidbit in there or two. Also, you can check in on all of our social medias. We have these posted there as well. We try to answer any questions and things like that too that you got.
Any questions
and that's where we're going to go over. I'm getting, you know, a whole lot of thunderstorm questions for today. We started off the show with that, so sorry to our 50 remaining individuals that are watching. We started off with that.
It's still gonna
Guess
be
what? You want to answer that one, Grace?
If there's going to be thunderstorms?
Yeah.
Yes, somewhere.
More showers and storms. Yeah, the setup's not changing.
What is it? It rains every day in Vernon.
That's Vernon and Hosford,
Yeah.
you know, in Liberty County. Hosford and Vernon. I get a lightning notification from both of those places every single day.
I think I already got one today.
Did you get a Vernon? I got a Bluntstown notification.
I did get a Bluntstown
I got a
as well.
Weewahitchka notification this morning. I had a Carabel notification as well. But yeah, more showers and storms. That's going to continue. When we get into this evening, we lose the heating of the day, the instability. We should actually see a lot of the activity start to fade.
Yeah, most of that moisture is just going to work inland and kind of fade out for the evening tonight.
Yeah,
so.
Today, tomorrow, and then really as we get into the weekend, weekend, things will be much more diurnally driven. So heating of the day, sea breeze will help enhance activity. It won't be as widespread and as continuous as what we had yesterday, and we're already seeing that based off of radar
slowly
presentation.
but surely.
That's
what
little
my forecast is.
Slowly but surely, is that what you said?
Slowly but surely.
I didn't watch.
Drying out, not getting wetter.
You got anything else to add to that?
No. No, I'm gonna be quiet now.
Oh, Gloria.
Hey.
I'll be here every Thursday at 1. Thank you, Gloria.
Cool.
We love Gloria.
Yes, we do.
I saw that.
She's our #1 fan.
I thought she was saying I'm turning 100 is what I thought I read, and then I was like, sorry, Gloria. I don't know how old you are, but I thought that's what I was reading, so I was getting ready to do a special happy birthday to you. Jessica coming in with 5.8 inches this week, up to 78 inches for the year in Parker.
Wow.
Wow. So
it's above average.
It's well above average.
Well
we
above.
had I mentioned that our record was set back in 1973. No, 75. 1975. That was the year that Eloise happened.
Okay.
That was 89.5 inches of rain for the year. I think we're going to be close.
We could be near that.
I mean, we got a couple months left to go. People are like, oh, we're so close already. 11, 12, 15, 16 more inches that's a lot of rain.
It's a lot of rain.
So, even our really wet December that we had in 2018 after Michael, we only got 10 inches of rain in that month, and that was a wet December. So we would need, October to produce 5 to 7.
We would need to see a lot more tropical activity.
Yeah, we would need a lot more rain to break that record, but we could definitely get close. Certainly the rain that's going on today, tomorrow, and through the weekend is probably not going to help. I think certain individuals might break that record, but it won't count unless it happens at the airport. I mean, I know people keep telling me, like, I've had so much more rain at my location. I'm like, great, like, it doesn't count. Like, I'm happy for you, or I'm, sad for you, but it only counts if it happens at the airport, because that's where the records are established. You have to have one set location for records to be established. If you don't have that set location, then anybody could just basically submit a report, and we'd be like, oh, look, a record's broken every day. Can't tell you how many times somebody says, it was 113 at my location over the summer, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you would have just set a state record, so I don't think it was 113.
We'll see if, I'm interested to see if, Pensacola, Mobile, kind of maybe.
I don't know what their records are.
I
should look.
Yeah.
I should look. Maybe I'll do a post on that today and see what the records are around the area.
They've been a little bit wetter than us for.
Yeah, we have.
This
So I'm trying to think. The ASOS stations that have a climatological record would be Mariana, Apalachicola, Tallahassee, Pensacola, Mobile. Is there one in Destin? Yeah, there's one in Destin. Yes, because we have Eglin. So I think, Destin. So those are the areas where we're going to have a record. Everywhere else is pretty hit and miss. But anyways, I think that's going to do it. We're going to wrap it up. If you don't have the Storm Track 13 app, we've already talked about it several times because we use it constantly, constantly use it. We get notifications on it, and if you use it for is severe weather notifications or lightning notifications, then you're getting use out of it. So if you don't have it, download it. It's called the Storm Track 13 app. When you look at the icon, it'll say Storm Tracker 13, and that is thanks to our creative services director, who will not be named, Chris Golden. He made the label incorrect on the icon and has never fixed it. So you see it down there. Oh, can you pop it up again? Do you have it ready? Yeah, see, I'm throwing people under the bus today. He'll get me back at some point in time. Well, where you see Tropic Topics, you'll see eventually there's going to be our little icon that pops up for the Storm Tracker 13 app.
QR code.
But the official name is Storm Track 13 app, not Storm Tracker.
Is that even a word?
I don't know. See, there it is, right there. See, it says Storm Tracker 13, but our app is called Storm Track 13 with no ER, just Storm Track 13. But the icon looks like that, thanks to our creative services. So, yay.
That's about it.
Yeah, download that. If you have any questions or anything else, you can certainly put them in the comments, and we will continue to answer them as much as possible on our own time, as well as what am I missing? I'm missing something else. I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing?
No, you're not.
mypanhandle.com, our social medias. Thanks to our sponsors. I'm going through my checklist here.
The news is on at 5 and 6. And
yeah, you can check us out if you want to. I mean, that's all right.
Yep.
You know. We'd appreciate the viewership.
It's not necessary. I have a cute picture of a puppy on my Instagram today. So.
Do you? Yeah, you pandering a little today?
Little baby. We had two-month-old puppies.
Did you get a puppy?
No. I'm not getting a puppy.
I thought you were.
You say that every week.
I'm gonna keep sending you.
I like the puppies.
I'm gonna keep sending you the Bay County Rescue puppies as they're
2 months old, and they're gonna be at the PetSmart this Saturday. You can't get them yet, but I'm swear there's gonna be a line for them. They were so
you're going
cute.
to adopt a puppy.
I gotta work Saturday. What are you talking about?
You don't work all day Saturday. You can go get a puppy.
All right.
Go get a puppy.
We'll see.
All right, that's it.
We're gonna have to bring it to the station.
Oh, we're done. We're wrapping up. Bye. You stop talking.
Thank you for watching Tropic Topics, sponsored by Peden Heating and Air Conditioning and Marietta Toyota. Be sure to download the StormTrack 13 app today to stay up to date with all of the latest weather information. For more local news, weather, sports, and more, visit mypanhandle.com.